Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hi guys, welcome to episode 131, Successful People Make Decisions Quickly. Before I share information about this episode, I just want to remind you we only have one spot left for our 90-day mastermind, which is coming up in January. If you want more info and you want to apply and you're a spiritual entrepreneur, go to lindsaymarino.com. Again, we only have one spot left, so we are excited for our upcoming mastermind. Okay, so now let's get into the show. In this episode, we talked all about the power of making decisions quickly and the importance of surrounding yourself with other like-minded people so that you can stay out of your own way and really, truly be present. We're so excited for you to listen to this episode. We hope you enjoyed the show. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about how successful people make decisions quickly. So this is an interesting episode because I think it's perfect time before the new year, don't you?
It is, because there's a lot of decisions you're going to make going into the new year. 2021's coming. It'll be here in a couple of weeks. 3 or 4 weeks, I think? 4 weeks. And this was inspired as I was walking this morning. It kind of came to me about how successful people, they make decisions quickly. And this was first inspired by the book Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that have not read that book, it's a must read if you're in business. If you're anybody who's trying to build something successful, it's a must read. And in that book, Hill talks about how he analyzed 25,000 people. And out of those 25,000 people, and these are 25,000 people that experienced failure. And what he found was a common denominator was their lack of decision making. They'd make decisions slowly and they'd change them often. And then in the same book, Think and Grow Rich, he also analyzed hundreds of highly successful people like Henry Ford, King Gillette, all these people that were huge entrepreneurs that made fortunes in business. And what he found, the number one common denominator for these people were they had the habit of making prompt decisions and changing them slowly, if ever at all.
That makes a lot of sense, because I find that when I struggle with making decisions and wait too long, it just becomes overcomplicated.
It does.
And I want to get into something in a little bit about like the Buddhist culture and what Buddha talked about and making mindful decisions, being mindful about things. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that kind of goes along with what you're sharing too is that in the Buddhist culture, they talk about how our mind could have some struggles when it comes to mental suffering. And a lot of it comes from ignorance and possibly even having a perception that's off. And when that takes place, it's important to go back into mindful thinking so that you can create mindful decisions because you're in the moment. And that's when you see truth, you see the clarity around things, and your emotions don't get involved. So it talks about coming back inward and being present.
Right, which is why I think it's so valuable for people to seek out help, seek out support in their business, from coaching, mm-hmm. from courses, from all of these different things, because they help you get to that center to where you can make the mindful decision making. So let's think about, why do people struggle? And keep in mind, when we talk about success, we're talking about success in every area. This impacts every area. So your relationships, if you don't make decisions promptly in your relationships, it messes up the relationship. Yeah. So on the extreme version is, if you're somebody who's loyal and you're getting married, you already decide, no matter what happens, I'm staying loyal to that significant other. Yes. You made that decision. That's on the extreme one. But then there's also other ones throughout your life on where you're going to live, what house you're going to have, all of these different things. So it makes me think about, why do people who are unsuccessful in relationships in their business, why do they struggle at making decisions? And to me, it's very clear. I think back to the times when I was struggling to making decisions, like when I was going to school part-time and I had a lawn care business and I was doing network marketing. I was clear on one perspective on my vision. I knew that I wanted a human potential company, and all these things were going to help me somehow, I thought. Which looking back, they did a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to make quick decisions back then, and I was all over the place because my vision had lack of clarity. I was not clear all the way in my vision. Fast forward 10 years to where I'm at now, I have so much clarity in my vision to where it's a lot easier for me to make quick decisions compared to back then when I was all over the place.
Okay, so when you just said that, I want to ask a question because this might help other people, and I don't know what your answer is going to be, but when you were unclear, did you find yourself overthinking of what if I make the wrong choice?
It was always that.
Okay.
It was always, what if I make the wrong choice? And then another thing I noticed, a habit I did was, even though I didn't listen to other people's opinions, I was always like a rebel type thinker, like where I'm not going to take that. But if I'm being honest in this moment, they did impact me back then because I was so vulnerable that any little comment on, oh, you can't do real estate, the market's down low, or you can't start a business, 8 out of 10 businesses fail. Any little comment like that back then would be detrimental to me, to where now someone tells me that now I'm even more fired up to show them how that's not true.
Yeah.
So indecision, or what was your question again? Going back to your question.
No, that's what it was. It was really what stopped you from being indecisive, because sometimes when that comes up, I notice whether it's clients or mentorship students, when they're not sure, they're afraid to make the wrong decision, and they feel like, well, if I make this one, is my life still going to be good? Or if I make this one, is it going to mess something else up where I'm not going to meet the person of my dreams because I moved to a different place? So it's like they're getting in their head about making a decision so it affects their future.
Yeah, for sure. And I could see how you do get in your head, because you are in your head. If you think about it, when you're not making decisions quickly, you're in your head. You're not in your soul. You're not in your heart. Yeah. When you start to this is why on these podcast episodes and everybody we coach in our masterminds and all that, we always emphasize painting out their vision, having absolute clarity, having it written down, all these different things that a lot of you know that I hope you're doing, because when you do that, as you take the time, like today, say you go to a coffee shop and you spend 2 hours creating a vision board or writing down, journaling, to most people in this world, they'd look at that as a waste of time. But we're highlighting in this episode, no, this is the reason why these highly successful people, whether it's in business or their relationships, why they're able to make quick decisions is because they take that time.
Yes. Now, I want to talk about that because you mentioned taking the time to make the vision. This is a thing where I, in the past, would kind of struggle with, but I didn't know it until now. I would create the vision board, make the mind movie, make these things and get all excited about it, and knew that it was going to happen. I knew in my heart that, okay, this is going to happen. But I felt like it was so far out. Like, I know I'm going to get there at some point, but it's not now. And what I recognize now is once you create that feeling of passion to want something, like you're excited, like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to Italy, or I can't wait to start that business, and you put it on your vision board, sometimes you don't need to know this every step to get there at that point. Sometimes it's following those breadcrumbs of getting excited. Maybe it's creating the Pinterest board around traveling to Italy. I brought this up before. Maybe it's hiring someone, a travel agent, to map out a trip that maybe you don't take right away, but they're mapping it out for the next year. Like you have to think about the experts in the field that you're wanting to, directly go after. So if it is career, then you would go and hire a coach.
Exactly.
Or
so
you watch the videos.
So for example, like with spiritual business owners.
Yeah.
That's why we have our 90-day mastermind coming up in January.
Yes.
It's for people just like that, spiritual business owners, psychic mediums, healers, yoga instructors, anybody in the spiritual business industry. You could come into our mastermind along with 5 other powerful people in the same industry.
4 others.
Well, it'll be 4 other. Yeah, so we have five spots. It'll be 4 others plus us. And it's such a powerful process we go through to start out 2021. and we get absolute clear. We go deep. We get the vulnerability going, and we move a lot of energy. And I think it's so valuable, like you're saying, to reach out for different support systems like that to help you with this. Because if it was just as simple as creating a vision board, then you could just create that and be on your way. But obviously, there's way more depth and way more layers that go into this.
And when you create, just say you're creating the vision board, which I think is awesome. You don't have to wait till January 1st to do that. Really, you should be doing that, whenever you feel that call, like kind of set it up in a calendar too. It could be monthly or whatever it is. But what I found with the mastermind, the theme with masterminds, whether I've been in one or I've been running one, we've been running one, the theme is the people in the group, they have the passion to join the mastermind. They're taking that step and taking that action, but they're also wanting to be held accountable. So it doesn't make you look weak to go into mastermind. It actually is a strong point. The most successful people are involved in masterminds because they know the power of 2 or more people with the same focus. And that's when magic takes place. That's when magic happens. You can get pretty far by yourself, but it could take a little bit longer, and you may have to go through some struggles and you may have to figure it out. But when you go with other people, you may find the people in the mastermind group, not just the leaders, but the people that are attending, that are members with you, have been through similar situations. Maybe they just went through it and they're like, I went through that. Don't go down this road because this is what I experienced. Go down this road instead.
Absolutely. And this all ties into what we're talking about here is you join different masterminds like this, different groups like this, to have a vehicle to get that clarity within you. Right. Because when it all boils down to it, another chapter in Napoleon Hill's book is on intuition, the sixth sense. And all of our people, we understand this. All the people we work with, they understand this. It's such a powerful thing. And I think that's what Napoleon Hill talks about. He talks about how you must master all, I think it's 17 principles. Then you can master the sixth sense. Because then when you get to master that sixth sense, you're tuning into your own energy, and your own energy never lies. It'll tell you exactly what to do every second. And that's why I love our masterminds and the groups that we put on, and the groups that all people that are making an impact in the world, that they put on to support entrepreneurs, to support people like us that are making an impact, that are using our energy and our time to make an impact on the world.
So true. I want to bring up a story that just happened recently. You know the story, of course. It is connected to decision making, because Tony always says, Lindsay, once you make a decision, it's just like it happens like that. Like I make the decision, I don't really think about it, I just do it off of pure intuition, like the retreat house and different things. Like we're doing this, we're making it happen, And the other day, it's probably been a month now, almost a month, maybe a little bit less. We were looking at places to purchase at like a second home. And one of the things that came up was I was so excited. We were so excited about this place. And on paper, it looked perfect. Like everything was beautiful. It was in the area that we wanted. And then all of a sudden, once the final stages were coming, my physical body felt this pressure, and I couldn't make that fast decision. It was like I was going back and forth. I'm like, what is up with this? Why is this happening? So when that happened to me, I knew something wasn't right, because when I'm used to making that quick decision, there's no time to think. You don't think. When you're present in the moment, when you're mindfully thinking or feeling whatever it is, it happens. But when my physical body told me, nope, this isn't the right thing, I had to trust it, even though my mind wanted to pull me in the other direction. My physical body didn't.
And you knew almost immediately.
I did. Because I didn't even want to sign the thing.
It was highly emotional. It was like, all right, we're all in. You're hesitant at the beginning, and then that's the thing. I think that's a valuable example because, look, we're humans. Lindsay's really good at making big decisions. Like you said, you make them quickly with your business. You just intuitively know, and that's what you teach a lot of your clients that you're working with, is to do the same thing. You don't mimic other people. You just that's your own thing. But what happened was, what Lindsay is, she's highly intuitive, just like all of you, and she's tuned into that. And when you made that decision and it didn't feel right in your body, I was pissed off because I was like, I really want this place.
Like, we were just talking about
I was like, what the hell? I want this place so bad. But I went for a walk, because that's what I do. I'm a highly emotional person. I have to go like walk or bike ride to process all of it, or else it's not good. So I went for a walk and I realized, no, My wife, Lindsay's highly intuitive. If her body's not feeling right, this isn't right, no matter what it feels like to me. So I think that's a valuable thing here to recognize, is that you're going to get, some of you are really good at making decisions already, and you're going to continue to get better. But you have to trust your body. You have to trust your instincts. And most of the time, like with Lindsay, they're going to tell you before you even make that decision. Sometimes, every once in a while, we are human, you'll make a decision and then you'll feel it. And that's when you could redo it, back up like we did. And long story short, it ended up being better than the first place. And it's actually, we found another place that's way better, perfect, way more perfect for what we're doing and what we needed. And it always, if we look back in our life, it's always like that. If you look back in your life, it's always like that. Like Lindsay was talking about earlier, some people are so scared to make, oh, what if I make this and I don't meet this guy or girl? Or if I do this and my business fails? It's like, you can't make a wrong decision. When you're acting from your heart and your soul, you'll find your way eventually, even if you get off your path a little bit. You just have to keep trusting, keep practicing. It's like a muscle. The more you practice, all right, I feel it, I'm making that decision, boom, the better you're going to get at it. And it's just going to keep building momentum in that area.
Exactly. And the universe, like you always say, universe likes speed. So when things are going to happen, they're going to flow. Once you're in the flow, it's important to stay in that flow. So tell us in the comments what insights you had about this episode. The other thing that I want to mention on here is a reminder. We actually only have one spot left as of this moment that you're watching or listening to this for our business mastermind. It's a 90-day mastermind. We start in January. It is going to be amazing. It's for spiritual entrepreneurs. Anyone that has a business in the spirit realm, whether it's intuition, it could be even acupuncture, but you're open to the spiritual stuff, mediumship, healing. I know there's someone in there that does breath work. Any of those types of topics, yoga, join us. You have to apply. That's what I should say first. You have to apply. Unless you're in my mediumship mastery circle, you don't have to apply. If you have any questions, let us know. Go to lindsaymarino.com and you will see the sign up form over there. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.